when I first came to Abba House, there was very minimal record keeping. You pretty much knew the date somebody came in and very little else. You didn't know when they left the program, why they left the program. In some cases, you didn't even know if they completed the program. So what we started to do is just to keep some basic notes. However, what was happening is each staff member was keeping their own style of notes, like whether they included the day they were born or was very subjective.
Right.
So once we got FAMCare, it's kind of all there. It tells you exactly what we want, how we want it, and it's just each staff member is able to just fill in the blanks and flow from one thing to the next.
So the intake actually works very well for us, very well, and it does not take 30 minutes for me to teach somebody new how to do intake, start to finish.
If you think about the intake process, here it is. You're in the computer, you're asking them standardized questions, you're asking them standardized format, and it gives you homogeneous data, starting point data, history data, and all of that is just following a script, which is the program.
Having FAMCare has actually helped with our intake process a lot because there are several components to an application to Abba House, and we do not consider you to have fully applied until we received all those components that we need to move forward. And what was happening before FAMCare is they've given us items 1, 2, and 3, but not 4 and 5. And when you're juggling 20 different intakes, it's easy to lose track of what you're missing and from who.
It was very time consuming. We tended to run 6 months behind in our documentation, which is not a good thing. With the FAMCare, since it was so easy to follow, we were able to give it to people who didn't necessarily have a background in documentation or charting and say just follow the guidelines.
So having it all set up in FAMCare, we're able to have our checklist of what we've got from them and what we haven't, and it's easy to change their status as to whether it's a completed application or it's pending. Susie Q has turned in her medical release but not her background statement and things like that, and so she knows I need to be looking for that, and when all those items come together, she can easily shoot them to the next stage of the process, which involves bringing them in to interview them and are we the place for you?
And they would open up the page would say, this is what I want, and they would just plug in what it asked for.
We talked about the fact that we're starting a second operation in Perry. We instantly will have a standardized procedure for case notes, notes from groups, how they'll be entered into the computer. It's all standardized, and we can tell whether the information is being put in correctly. We can monitor whether people are keeping up with their case notes, all of those things, because we have a centralized FAMCare is the tool that we use.
With FAMCare, I'm able to say, all right, Barbara's the program director, she oversees all the case managers, she has permission to see any case notes. Whereas the girl that does intake, all that she has permission to see is the intake forms.
It's ideal, particularly for multi-unit, multi-facility. You're just instantly in business.
What I like about FAMCare compared to some other programs that I've worked with is when you set security clearance on other programs, a lot of times the menu still appears. It's just you click on it and nothing happens. With FAMCare, the menu never even appears. So there's less chance of people clicking on the wrong, wasting time by clicking on the wrong thing at the wrong time, having so many options. If your job only has 5 places you need to go, only 5 places show up, and it's less confusing and it's so much easier to teach.
There are frequently times when I have files that I need to find that are paper files, and okay, is it in this office? Is it in this office? And it just is so much easier. You can search it by name. And there it is.
Well, I will say this, I am not computer literate, and I find it is fairly easy to follow and very user-friendly, which is something that's good for us people who didn't grow up with the computer in high school.
And the reporting is good. How many people do you have? How many people started? How many people finished? Where are they in the process? And we do pretty specific notes on groups that we have. And those are going to flag issues and things that need to be dealt with. And those are all put into the files. And we have documentation on what's transpired and easily accessible.